Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno episode 273, and this is a show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show, so let's get started. Only, I think, 9 books this week. It was such a small haul. Yeah, it was 9 books. It wasn't a lot. So let's get started, though. Number 9 for me is Return of Wolverine, issue 4. Just have not been really liking this series much. I think the artwork has gone down since we get a switch of artists here, and just not liking the story. Don't care about this scientist character and the twist that happens in this issue, that she's not actually who she says she is, but just not feeling Wolverine's journey. I just kind of want us to get a regular Wolverine story. They've been really prolonging this return of Wolverine and not really latching on to the relationships that made Death of Wolverine such a good story. So I'm going to give this one 2 stars, and that is number 9. Moving on to number 8, which is a surprise for me because I've been liking this since Tomasi's been on, and that is Detective Comics issue 996. Like I said, I've enjoyed this arc, but here it didn't have the emotional attachment as the other issues did with Leslie Thompson and Alfred, and now we're actually tackling the bad guy, and the bad guy's not as interesting as what he did, and I really noticed that here. Also, the artwork is not as good as I feel like the other issues have been. It's not bad by any means. It's just a lot of lines going on in their faces, especially when Bruce doesn't have the mask. So that's something I don't love, and I really saw in those beginning pages. So let me see if I can get that. Over here we get to see a lot of lines on their faces that just make it look a little awkward. But I do like the rest of the detail for the most part. And even Damien looks kind of weird in that picture. But yeah, I do like, though, the deconstruction of Batman, that this guy is attacking Batman for who built him to become Batman. So that's kind of cool, but the villain himself I didn't quite like, but the idea is interesting. So I'm going to give this one 2.5 stars, and that is number 8. Moving on to number 7, which is the Fantastic Four, issue 6. I know it doesn't look like it because I got the X-Men variant, but I thought that was a cool variant. I do like Phil Noto's artwork, so I got that one. Or is it an Avengers variant? It is, oh no, it's Marvel 80 years, so that's the variant for this one. Just the X-Men are kind of in the forefront. But yeah, this issue continues from the wedding, which I enjoy the wedding a lot more than this one. Feels like your generic by-the-numbers Galactus and Doomsday are here to destroy the world. Not Doomsday. Dr. Doom are here to destroy the world. And I like the wedding stuff more. The moment I actually liked a lot here was just Alicia saying, hey, I want Ben to come home. I want to start this family. And I thought that was a good moment. And I like the Fantastic Four themselves. I like that they're finally together. That was nice. But there's small moments. I think there's a lot of exposition of, oh, what is Dr. Doom and Galactus up to? Galactus wanting to eat worlds, because that's what he does. Also didn't really like the artwork here. I didn't really like the inking. Felt like it could have been rendered better, just like felt a little sloppy to me, some of the pencil work and inking, or at least for my style. I don't like the grittiness of the inking. So overall, I'm going to give that one 3 stars. Not a horrible issue. Like I said, I definitely enjoyed some of the Fantastic Four moments and their story. It's just that the main story is that, do I want to see more of this? I don't know. So that's number 7, and like I said, I gave that 3 stars. Moving on to number 6, already up to number 6. And number 6 for me is fantastic. The Flash, issue 62. I actually really like this Jay Lee cover. It's pretty much continuing this slow pace of figuring out what's behind the Speed Force, but again, very slow for me, the pacing. But the things I liked a lot here and why it's higher than some of the others is the artwork is so well done. I really like the detail here. Just been really enjoying where the art has gone for the Flash. And then also Iris. I like that she's in the mix of stuff, and when people call her Flash's girlfriend, she's like, no, that's not just me, and I could see her saving the day in the end of this. But the other villains, I'm like, alright, let's get to the point. It's been a while since Flash War, and we still kind of haven't gotten those answers, and that's a little frustrating reading this book. So overall, I'm going to give this one 3 stars, and that is number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is Superman issue 7. I was really torn with this issue because for the most part I like the art. I love Reyes' artwork. He does such a good job on this book, and even the other mixture of different artists I don't think was very jarring. I think it worked for the story because we're getting to see some flashbacks, so I like that as well. And I guess it's cool that we're getting to see what happened to John, but I don't really love the circumstances. I feel like this is the type of issue where you're like, I'm getting all these answers, and you feel like you're getting a lot of answers until you look back and you're like, wait, we didn't really get anything in this. It was just a big exposition issue without really explaining much. So I hope the next parts we're going to learn a little bit more about what happened to John, why he's older. But it's more of like, why did Lois leave? That's the answer we got, and it wasn't a big shocking moment. It's just like, oh, she wasn't really used to this, and this is not her world, so she left. So there are not a lot of big moments here that I expected, because we're waiting so long for the answers here, and that's obviously a big problem with a lot of the Bendis books lately, is that they're a little bit too decompressed. And, you know, I used to love that, because Bendis used to give you these really powerful character moments that I even feel that are a bit, watered down here, and I just haven't felt those big moments like I wanted to. Not saying this is a horrible issue, because obviously this is in my top 5. There's definitely moments I liked. I liked Lois's adjustment. I really like the artwork here, but it just wasn't the issue I expected. I expected a lot more for this one. So I'm going to give this one 3 stars, and that is number 5. Moving on to number 4, which is Ironheart, issue 2, a book that's really surprised me. I've never been a huge Riri Williams fan, but I've always wanted to enjoy her character, and I remember when her first issue came out, I was so pleasantly surprised with her issue 1, and that her story has never met to her issue 1, you know, how good that was. Until now, I really feel like they're actually tackling some of the things that were placed in that issue 1, and this is the issue 2 I've always wanted from Ironheart. So, even though I don't quite care about the villains here, I like the personal story that's attached here, that one of the girls that is kidnapped actually helped out Riri when she was in school, a lot younger than she is supposed to, because she was a genius. So I like that. I like her Ironheart moments. I like that she has a supporting cast, even her old friend being her AI. These small moments is what makes it feel like Riri is more of a character, which I really like, that I get to know, or I will say know more of her as a character, and get to learn more about her world outside of Iron Man and Tony Stark. It's cool to see Riri Williams, and I've been really enjoying that. Artwork overall, I love the moments when she's Ironheart. It's so bright, and I enjoy that. I do think when she's out of the suit, the colors are a little bit damper, but the action moments is what really makes it for me. And I think that's more of the flashbacks, because honestly I didn't really have that issue when she was with her mom and her friend. So this was fine. It was just the flashbacks that felt a little damper to me. But yeah, overall I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars. I enjoyed the issue, and I'm excited to see where the series goes, because again, this is exactly what I wanted from Riri a long time ago, and I'm glad we're finally getting that series. Alright, moving on to number 3, which is The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 13. So, this honestly was a surprise issue for me, because I thought, like, alright, how much can you do with J. Jonah Jameson now? Like, we've kind of gotten a couple issues of him. And yes, there is some over-explaining of things that already happened in the beginning, but I still love Nick Spencer's voice on Peter, that I didn't really mind as much. But once you get to the point of the issue, it's really heartbreaking and nice, where we get to see J. Jonah Jameson kind of realize he's been the villain of Spider-Man's story, and he's done wrong things, he's made mistakes, but he's trying to make up for that, and kind of escape from his personality for a bit, and step back from it and say, alright, how can I help people? And I like that moment, and I really like Otley's artwork overall for the book. I think it's been a nice fit, and it tells the story really well. It's very clean. So overall, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. I was surprised by the emotional impact it had by the end, especially if you're a J. Jonah Jameson fan. So that is number 3. Moving on to number 2, which is Jessica Jones, Purple Daughter, issue 1. Jessica Jones has returned to the digital format. That's how I've been reading these Marvel series, and the only one I've been really catching up with is Jessica Jones. So I've been really enjoying what Kelly Thompson's been doing, and I like the little twist here that I thought it was just going to be about Purple Man again, which, yes, I still don't love that this story is about Purple Man, because how many times can we get his story? But I like that we actually get to see his daughter. I thought was very interesting. One of my negatives of this book, and obviously this is not a crime of the creative team, is that I don't love that it's a double issue. I definitely would like this series a lot more if it was just a regular sized issue. It's a lot to read at once, and I don't think this series necessarily needs that many pages. So that's one of my issues about the book, but I really like the character moments. You really get the emotions that are needed here. The artwork is really good to show that as well. And again, I had some nice surprises in this one. We get to see Carol trying to help Jessica out, and but the Purple Man's daughter was a nice surprise here. And seeing how this whole thing challenges Luke and Jessica's relationship was pretty interesting. Alright, moving on to number 1, which is Babyteeth, issue 14, a book that I feel like is too underrated. People are not talking about it, even though a lot of people are talking about Donny Cates. They are not talking about Babyteeth. And I really like this series a lot, and this is my favorite Donny Cates series. But with this one, we get to find out a little bit more about the mystery of who's behind this kid, who's behind Sadie's kid, and it actually connects to God more than you would expect, where in the end we get to see the guy who we thought was is the Antichrist, but thought that he was the father of Sadie's child. You find out it's like, nope, it's God. It's all God's fault, and it's kind of interesting the way they paint it and relate to biblical stories with that. So I really liked it, and we get to see the family return. So it's nice to have that reunion. But I really liked some of the beats that were taken. A lot of the transition shots were fun. I've laughed a lot just the way that this issue was paced, but also some really good emotional moments as well. So overall, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. Always really like the artwork, and like I said, just from the writing to the paneling, there's some really great just transition from panel to panel with this issue, which I really liked. I like the chalkiness of this issue, of this book in general. Like even the panels, the way they're laid out is all chalky, so I like that. I just really like the tone of this book. So I'm going to give this one 4 stars. That is my pick of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Go follow me on Twitter. Go check out my Facebook page also, and you can also go check out my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and They Call Her Dancer. Links for that are in the description below. And of course, every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Frontline Live on Comic Frontline, where we talk about our top 5 favorite comics and comic book news for the week. So be sure to check that out as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Bye.